Welcome to Live Action Star Wars Presents Datalink. My name is James.
I'm Ralph.
And today we're just going to have a casual chat. It's the end of the year. We've got nothing in particular that we are covering. So we are just going to talk about the end of 2022 and everything that we have had in the way of Star Wars this year. And have a quick look forward into what to expect from next year.
I feel like because we took like 1 week off a couple weeks ago, that I'm like, oh, I don't like doing that.
No, I don't either. It feels weird. Like even today, because we didn't have a show that we were covering or anything that we had to watch for this episode, for the first time in months, I had to set a reminder on my phone to like remind me that I had the show today. Because I'm just like, when I've got like some homework or something to keep me sort of grounded for it, I'm like, it's fine. I've got it. It's exactly then. I know exactly what's happening when. But yeah, like taking the week off felt strange. It was really odd. I didn't know what to do with myself. And then this week, like I don't know, it just feels weird. I'm ready for some normality, I think.
Yeah.
I am wearing, you might be wondering, I'm wearing a Star Wars Christmas jumper that Liz got me just before Christmas, but for Christmas. I meant to wear it last week, but timely as ever. Yeah, you're getting it this week. I thought I wanted to put it on the show at some point, but yeah. I'm wearing a Domalars t-shirt. Classic.
Yeah. I watched it recently for reasons and then didn't end up wearing it. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Wear it on the show.
Yeah.
If anyone, if you know, you know. If you know.
If you know. Yeah. You weren't there, man.
Jesus Christ, like 16 years ago.
Oh God. So I feel like every time there's an anniversary of Lost, me and like, one of my closest friends who we loved Lost, we're just like, oh my God, we're so old. And it's just like, yeah, it is one of those grounding things for sure.
People showing kids.
Yeah. And the fact that there are now like teenagers who weren't alive when the show was on, or like starting anyway. We're not here to talk about Lost though. You've done that plenty.
Can.
I mean, we can. We'll do another one. We'll do another
maybe
day
down the road. I think down the road.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some crossover. There's plenty of actors that have crossed over.
Yeah. I can think of two.
I can think
both in The Force Awakens.
Oh no, I can think of three then. Dom Monaghan.
Yeah, that's one.
He's not in The Force Awakens.
Oh, I guess not.
Both in the sequel. Yeah, Ken Leung, Dom. I'm sure there's others. There's bound to be others. But again, still definitely not here to talk about Lost. A lot of stuff came out in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on Twitter when I was just sort of promoting this. That what was everyone's favorite thing, knowing full well what it would be. Billy D, of course. Billy D. Yes. Thank you, Mark, with the save.
Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle. Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff came out, and I was like, what's everyone's favorite? Knowing full well what ours was. And
here comes the Lost fans.
Yeah. all the people that have been here forever. Yeah. I knew that Andor was going to be our favorite. It's my favorite Star Wars in years, many years.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's probably.
I'm curious to know how many years. Since 1983, your whole life?
No, I mean, favorite as in like the best quality Star Wars. Then yeah, definitely. I think favorite
Since
in terms
Solo?
of just what has brought me pure joy in the movie theater, probably Force Awakens. Just because it coming back then, like that, it hit different than Phantom Menace did, which again we've talked about at nauseum, like how excited we all were in '99. You didn't like it at first. I was a 12-year-old kid. I loved it at first, and then soured on it, and then have come around on it. I've run the full gamut. But I think Force Awakens still, it just puts a smile on my face every time. Like I think Last Jedi is probably arguably better movie. But Force Awakens just puts a smile on my face. Like the others don't as much. Moments do, but not as much. But yeah, Andor is perfect. I still stand by it. And I think that's something that I want to get into when we're talking about 2022 is a lot of shows came out and we were talking about like Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Andor as like the big ones that we covered.
Yeah.
We loved Book of Boba Fett in the moment.
Mm-hmm. I still like it.
And I still like it.
Like I'm not, but I don't revisit it. I'm not going to like revisit it anytime soon. No. But at the time I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'm listening to a lot of podcasts that are doing similar to this, where they're sort of wrapping up, and not just about Star Wars, about just of all sorts of things. And they're bringing up Book of Boba Fett because of moments in Book of Boba Fett, but not as the show. Like it seems like the general consensus on the show that it was fine. Yeah. Like, and I kind of agree with that. I think on the whole, looking back on it now, it was fine, but there are moments of it that were excellent, and there was stuff. I think there was probably at least something in every episode that was really good. That episode 2 really still stands out to me with the train heist and everything. Like as just, I think that might be the best bit of Star Wars action that in live action that we got this year. Like pure Star Wars-y sort of action.
Yeah, it's the most Western.
Yeah.
I think the lightsaber battles in Obi-Wan were really strong, especially the one with the rocks.
Yeah, I really liked that. I thought it was really good.
But yeah, it's funny how like the Book of Boba Fett's probably the most action figure heavy series to date, and Andor's like the least.
Yeah, they're totally different.
So it's nice. But there's variety. 100%.
Yeah, that's it. It's exactly right. I like that we can get in 1 year, we can get every different thing. Like we talked about it a lot with Obi-Wan, how because of the credits at the end with just the blue font, everything about it felt more, especially at the beginning, it felt more like a Star Wars movie. And we know that it was originally intended to be. But yeah, we've got more of a cartoony series with Book of Boba Fett, a very serious prestige TV style drama with Andor, and then an elongated movie for better and worse in Obi-Wan. Like I think that's really cool that we can have a bit of everything like that.
And what's fun too is my friend James did not like Andor at all. He thought it was too slow and boring and just didn't care for it. But what's great for him is in 3 months, we're going to have
Mando,
action-packed Mando back.
I mean, less than it's the very beginning of March, I believe. So
the thing is, for me, I waited 17 years or so for new Star Wars, and I didn't care for it in Phantom Menace. Nowadays, if you don't like Star Wars, you got another one right around the corner.
Like, yeah.
Because if I don't like Mando 3, season 3, then Ahsoka's right after that.
It's in the summer,
and then Skeleton Crew.
Yep.
Like, I'm fine. Like, I didn't care for Tales of the Jedi. There was some stuff I liked, but I'm like, I don't care because right now there's an amazing show happening at the same time. So I'm like, I feel like this would have been the good spot to put Tales of the Jedi
in this,
because right now we have sort of
I agree. It's such a strange release schedule that they had with Tales of the Jedi, where it's like they didn't talk about it at all for the longest time. It wasn't hyped, it wasn't promoted, and then it was promoted and released pretty quick in the middle of another series.
The only thing I could think of is Disney's like, maybe the Andor numbers are down or something.
I think,
if we could get people to the Star Wars page, they'll be able to see this. It could have been that. Because I feel like since Andor ended and Bad Batch begins, like it might be 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Or pretty close.
Close to it, yeah.
Enough to where they could at least release like Tales of the Jedi either 2 at a time or 1 at a time. So I feel like that,
or even like just 2 weeks. Take 2 weeks and do like all the Ahsoka, all the Dooku, or do one of each, or however you want to do it.
Yeah. I'm curious.
Do you want to say strange.
Hey to the folks?
Yeah, we haven't said hi to everyone yet. Let's do that.
Lucha was here right on time. I tried to respond to him and realized I responded to all.
You're on the all tab
platform.
Oh no, you've left a comment on Twitch. We're now going to get flooded with bots, probably.
Hey, I'll take the views. I have no idea what's going on over at Twitch, by the way. Like, this goes to Twitch. I have no idea if anybody knows about it. I never promote it. It's on at Live Action SW. Like, you can find the Twitch link. I feel like it's just nice to have it be available.
Yeah, wherever people are.
Them. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. My friend Mitchell, he's popped into the comments a few times. He watches Twitch quite a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if every now and then, when he's watching, if he's watching on Twitch, the
only people that comment from Twitch are bots.
Yeah, that's
true. For some reason, okay, now I'm able to block users again. Let me make sure I don't block Mark. Roll Farm Boy is here. Rick is here. Jeremy Kelly. Yeah, because there was a time where like I couldn't delete those bots.
I remember, it was.
Which I don't really. They don't bother me. We all know they're bots. We're all not clicking the links, and if you want to click the link of Sexy Girl 69, go for it.
Crack on. You do you.
Yeah.
Bots are not people too.
Yeah.
But somewhere up the chain, someone's getting.
We're not. We're her.
Yeah, they are welcome.
We will serve.
They're welcome here up to a point, as long as they're not being too disruptive or anything. But the few that we get every now and then, it's fine. Whatever.
There's that dude we thought was a bot but wasn't.
Yeah, he could just only talk in quotes. Let's get him back. He was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any particular like standout moments from Book of Boba Fett? For me, it's that episode 2.
Not that come to mind. I mean, really, for me, is the upgraded Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, that was cool.
Holy shit! Like we all knew that was coming. That was the Dave Filoni episode, and that was I think we have Adam on for that. And just geez,
and we'd seen Mando in the previous episode as well. So
yeah, but man alive, that upgraded Luke is something else.
Look great.
Yeah, maybe not as emotional as the episode or the season 1 finale, but oh man, now who knows what they're gonna do with him?
Well, that's it. I mean, Luke's. We said this at the time, and we've said it a few times. Like Luke is on the table now. Like he's available to play with.
Yeah.
And we've seen the
Mark Hamill's cool with it. Mark Hamill's on set doing his thing.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I like that. That adds a lot to it. It's the same like we've seen in the trailer for Indiana Jones that they've de-aged Harrison Ford, and we haven't seen him talking like that yet. So that seems to be where it falls down. But
I don't want him on the table.
But we don't.
But I mean, I don't know
because unless Harrison is like, I'll come in and do a voice for like an hour or two, like.
But he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have
to. The robot do it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I want him on. Only if he's cool with it. But I mean, the whole thing is that Star Wars has always been the high watermark for special effects.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if the actors sign off on this, go for it. Let's push it. I guess push the technology. I feel like once they pass, maybe not so much. If we're doing if Han Solo shows up in Ahsoka, if Luke is on the Ghost,
wow,
with the crew,
yeah.
I mean, can you imagine Hera and Han Solo? I know it's an Ahsoka show and not a Rebel show, but I feel like it's going to be a Rebel show.
I hope so. Like I really want it to be. I want it to be Rebel season 5.
I like that storyline's moving forward with characters we don't know the fate of. So that's good.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name. Mary Elizabeth Winstead has been rumored to be Hera.
Yeah, heavily rumored now. And like the fact that there's the Ewan McGregor connection there, it's like she's sort of in the family now. It's like, yeah, I could see it happening.
Yeah. If we go previous timelines, Alden Ehrenreich, keep him in there, but I kind of like right now I'm thinking like, as much as I love Solo and as much as I would love for Solo 2 to happen, I'm really ready to move on to storylines where we don't know characters' fates.
I think that's the difference. Like you said it a few times where it's like, give us new. But I think that's the thing. It doesn't need to be wholly new. We can still have that sort of memberberry sort of feeling of characters, but as you said, ones that we don't know where their story ends. We've seen the end of the Skywalker saga and that sort of trilogy of characters and their extended lot. So yeah, beyond that would be great. The Damon Lindelof project is heavily rumored to be taking place sequel trilogy era and beyond, and will feature some of those characters, but like might not be in
he can do what Andor did, where there's like the clone trooper in the street.
Sure.
No, wait, that was Obi-Wan. What Obi-Wan did.
Yeah.
Andor was so good, but they could do what Andor does as far as like show like more of the fall. I don't know. It needs to be like Andor. It needs to be like well thought out. If it's anything like Watchmen, what he did with Watchmen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's a sequel to the book. Like, and that moves forward with some characters had died in Watchmen in the book sort of thing, but versions or something moves forward. There's other characters who we don't know what happened with them. Yeah, I think Watchmen's
if you were to pick a legacy character from the sequel era, which sounds ridiculous, to be in Lindelof's future episodes, who would you pick?
I think we taking Finn, Rey, and Poe off the table?
I think I would go with Finn.
Yeah,
I think he has an interesting story to tell that didn't
get
explored.
There's still more there, like more than the others. I think
his sort of
he was definitely the most short
allegiance to the Force. Yeah. Him being a First Order, like I feel like those are interesting, centered around him. If you're to pick anybody, I wouldn't even bring in Rey yet.
Again, leave her in the same way that for a lot of this sort of sequel era, we left Luke alone. Luke was the mystery. What's Luke doing? What is the question that's on everyone's mind? But we don't find out, or we find out snippets. Have Rey be that going forward beyond. What's Rey doing? Is she building the Order back up? It's the same story as with Luke, but we don't know and we don't need to know. If she is building an Order back up, I hope it's basically not the Jedi. She's.
I'm sure he's got a smarter idea than maybe we do.
Really in Damon we trust for sure.
Yeah.
Jeremy Kelly says here, give me an Adventures of Han Solo on Disney Plus, and I'd watch it and love it. But let the movies be about the characters we don't know. I think that's a good shout. That's what I want. The maybe one day will happen Lando show to be. It's the Adventures of Lando Calrissian, and then you can have your Han.
Do you think that's ever going to happen?
I mean, I think it's all down to Donald and when Donald Glover is available and wants to do it.
He's now doing a Marvel
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He's got for a while, and then
no, he just announced that he's doing some sort of Spider-Verse character.
Oh yeah, he is, which is strange because he's already in that. It's like bring him in as what's his name?
He's producing it. I don't even know if he's starring. He's producing it.
That gives him time to star in something. He can spin a lot of plates.
Jeremy Kelly, it would. I'm sure John Boyega would come back if it was about him.
I think so. I think that John Boyega he had his moment where he felt, I think, quite bitter towards it, but I also think he has such a love of it. It's sort of the Harrison Ford feeling, I think, but I think he's probably more willing to come back than Oscar Isaac. I think Oscar Isaac's just like, I'm done. Like, fine, whatever. Like, it was fun while we did it. I had fun. I like those guys, but I'm done with it. I don't need to do that anymore.
I feel like this is what's going to happen. I feel like if it does center around Finn, Damon Lindelof will present him with a project that is like, it's like, hey, listen, this is what you wanted. It's going to be the equivalent of like Diego Luna, who loves Star Wars, got to be in it once and then got killed off, and then to come back to this thing that's like insanely
so much more.
About that character. So you present it to him with, we're going to explore your character during the fallout. You are the center of this movie. It's going to be about you coming across First Order troopers that now have no leadership.
Yeah, that's it. And
you are part of a resistance that was led by Princess Leia, or General Leia, who was a diplomatic senator, and now that's gone.
Did you ever read any of the leaked script?
Sort of.
No. I skimmed over it. I didn't read it sort of cover to cover, but I read the whole thing, and yeah, there's a lot of that. Is Finn leading an uprising of troopers and stuff like that. So there are elements of that already exist. You could, I don't know what you'd have to do in terms of writing credits and things like that, but you could give like a nod to what's his name, Colin Trevorrow, and sort of still take some of those elements of him leading that, because that stuff doesn't need to happen at the same time as Rise of Skywalker for it to still be a relevant story. That can happen afterwards. Like empires don't go away. Before. Exactly.
I feel like Tales of the Jedi, isn't Tales of the Jedi have some of that stuff in it?
Almost certainly.
Some repurposed book stuff.
Yeah, it's you take some of the stuff from the Ahsoka book or from one of the Dooku books, and you tweak them and change them just enough.
Yeah, but you get as soon as you get him on board, if you center this story around him, that's going to perk up Oscar Isaac and be like, okay, there must be something going on. There would most definitely be a small role for him. Maybe it might not be a pivotal scene, but we'd love to have you.
A general that he has to go and like communicate with at some point, like something, and then then that sets him up for a Rogue Squadron role.
I mean, let's just redo Maverick.
Yeah.
Let's just redo Maverick.
We've talked about it before. Just remake Maverick, skin it. Just put a new fresh skin over Maverick.
And then Dennis Lawson is as John Hamm. Ed Harris.
Yeah. Eve is fine.
But it's one of those things where I feel like if you can get him, then you can start. I've done some producing work recently, and I kind of have figured out how these things go, and a lot of times people want to know who else is involved.
It's a dominoes effect, isn't it?
You gotta kind of go like here, and then
you pick your targets first, and then ratchet up.
Right. And I feel like I would even leave Rey out of it.
Yeah.
I would leave Rey out of it.
I love Rey. I think Rey's story is fantastic, but as much as I love Daisy Ridley, like let's wait until she gets like in her 50s and gray and have her have started the Jedi Order. Just like that's what I want to see. She's a master, sort of.
I want to see her be what we thought old Luke was going to be in Force Awakens.
Yeah. Yeah, the badass warrior, leader, master. Yeah.
She's got her shit together. Who's taken the Jedi text, maybe rewritten them so it's not so militant. It's not so you can't marry. It's all about, because she's the balance. She has the blue and the green lightsaber, and it turns yellow. Like, find that thing. Like, it's like Ahsoka. Can put Ahsoka in this? Like, but let's do it in like 20 years.
Yeah. We've seen that the Togruddons get really old, so let Ahsoka get really old. She can do that, and then that at that point Rey becomes the Luke Skywalker from Legends EU, like where he is. Yeah. He has got the new Jedi Order, and it is a new order that people get married. There are people come in, they leave, it's way more what people were hoping that it would be based on books that they've been reading for 20 years.
And don't put her in anything for 20 years. Let us imagine, put like some sort of, drop some hints in this post sequel Finn story that we've come up with, and then like, oh, she's off doing her Jedi thing. That's all we need.
They can still be in contact. They can, yeah. she maybe has trained him like to a level, but he's realized that he has a different calling. Like he's
Maybe
got the Force.
voiceover communication.
Something.
Oh, because she can do the. I don't want to see her.
No, we don't need
But
it.
you can do the Force projection.
Yeah, yeah.
But
that is us shooting way ahead and projecting with what we would like to see. Let's look back now on something else that we got from 2022. We've touched on Obi-Wan. Let's talk about Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was a big one. We loved this to begin with. Absolutely loved it. And for me, I think the only thing really looking back on it now that lets it down is some of the stagecraft, the volume stuff. And it just there was moments I'm thinking about on Jabeam with the Rebel base and stuff mostly, where it just kind of felt empty, or just not that interesting to look at or anything like that.
It was like a Batman cave.
It was worse than a Batman cave. But then that's so contrasts to the planet in the second episode, that was so vibrant, the Space Reno, like with all the neon and everything. It was so good. And again, you could see at moments that it was sort of all in the volume, but it was such a better and more full and living, breathing place. So it was, the contrast of those two was quite stark, I think. But on the whole, I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was really good. I thought Ewan knocked it out of the park. I thought he was great and sort of slotted back into that role without missing a beat. I think back on, like, when you see Mike Myers and Dana Carvey do like Wayne and Garth now, whenever they pop up on a special or something, they're not playing Wayne and Garth anymore. They're doing an impression of Wayne and Garth from back then, as opposed to like still knowing how to do the characters. It's like they've just watched one of the movies and gone, oh, we can imitate that. Whereas I feel like Ewan could have done that. He could have just been playing the hits again, but he didn't. He brought something new to it, but still in keeping. I thought he was amazing.
The hello there.
At the end.
If they didn't put it in there, everyone would have been mad except for Ralph. I would have been totally fine with it.
I thought
like, it shows restraint. I feel like that's what I like about Andor, is it shows restraint.
Yeah.
I need that.
I think they showed restraint. They could have used it a lot more than they did. I think having one right at the end is fine.
But it was like the most like important part of the show. Like it was like when he meets Luke for the first time, and it's like this song.
But it's poetry. It rhymes. It's the first time he meets Luke in the.
What was I watching? I was watching something yesterday, or I was just thinking about Star Wars, and I was like, I'm sick of the poetry and rhyming. I'm so done with it.
Yeah,
I'm so done.
Yeah. I bet George is the most done with it.
Yeah, just
I said one dumb thing in an interview that wasn't even that dumb. It was kind of
yeah, it was a during behind the scene thing. It wasn't even
it was
But the thing is, for me, it's like I'm so ready. We had so many years without new Star Wars, and we got new Star Wars, and at first I wasn't on board with it, but what George gave us with the prequels was something completely different. Style wise, it didn't look like Star Wars. It was all like Art Deco, like looked like it was from the 20s and 30s, which made sense for that time period. And I feel like with Force Awakens had sort of had a tough job to like bring us back into Star Wars as we knew it.
Yeah.
But maybe it came too close. And I want more of a separation of time, and I would love to see just like people really spread their wings and do something unique. Ferrix is a good thing. It doesn't have moisture evaporators and shit like that, but
Ferrix like, is a prime example because it's showing something that's completely different but still feels super grounded and real.
And like Star Wars.
We talked about in the first few episodes, before we knew that they had a sort of a thematic reasoning, we talked about brick buildings. Everything is made out of bricks and how different that was for Star Wars, but it was super cool.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for more stuff like that. Let's
Mhm.
push it forward. Let's. I mean,
Don't
I'm
hold
tired
back.
of seeing. It's always moisture evaporators,
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
and I don't need to see another moisture evaporator. Like, that's not what Star Wars is.
It makes
Like
sense for a
George
desert
used.
planet. If you're on gonna be on Tatooine, you're gonna see him because it's a desert and everything like that. But everywhere else, like we don't need the exact same thing.
I feel like George wanted to shoot in the desert and had a big, huge, empty landscape and was like, "We need something to
Hmm.
show that this is somewhat a futuristic look to it."
Hmm.
And so I think moisture evaporators was like the quickest and easiest thing. Put a couple towers up on the set.
Just
Let's
junk
go.
that's yeah. They can
Yeah.
knock that out together. Like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it's, I feel like George did that out of necessity and budget.
I think budget is the key there.
Now your budget is, you can do literally whatever you want.
Whatever
It's
you
like
want.
my problem. And I'm sure Mark's heard this before from me. It's the thing with Pixar.
Mhm,
Mark's huge into animation. Check out his show, Animation Fascination.
mhm.
It's a great podcast, but he knows me. I am sick and tired of Pixar. And I'm sick and tired of Pixar because
It's the
you can
same
do
look.
anything. You can do anything you want with computers. You can make, your imagination is, there's no limit to what you can do
Mhm.
with Pixar, but they keep shooting for the most realistic looking trees and the most
Yeah,
realistic looking water. And I'm like, if I want to watch realistic stuff, I'll watch live action stuff, which is what I do. If you
yeah.
want to get me to watch animation, I know that I should probably watch Visions, and this is exactly what Visions is doing.
I
But
think, but
but
yeah.
the thing is, I want the artistic stuff that's being poured into Visions
Mhm.
into live action Star Wars. Star Wars can be literally anything, and we saw that in the episode of Andor, The Eye, where it's like,
Mhm.
look at this thing. Like
Amazing.
this is pure fantasy and insane, and unlike anything we've seen in Star Wars.
A
But
super
because you
sci-fi
put it,
concept. Like, yeah.
but you put a TIE fighter in there, and it's Star Wars. So like, just keep going artistic. There's so many concept arts from Star Wars that you see, and the character designs are always fun.
Mm.
But every time you see like a planet landscape, it's like moisture evaporator, igloo, domes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like do
It's the
something
same 4 buildings, just rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
Mark mentioned it there. Their Spark shorts, all of the Pixar shorts. I feel like that's where they are testing and trying and doing
Yeah.
new things. Like that is what is worth checking out if for what you want.
But-
But then do something more with that. Don't just go, hey, you're a good animator. You can do something. You've got your own vision. Now plug into our house style and do the most
Yeah.
realistic looking trees.
I watched
You mentioned Visions. I just want to say about this.
watch that.
Visions. I don't think you need to bother with the first volume. You don't like anime. You don't like anime. I'm not the biggest fan, but I'll watch it if it's something that's really good. And this was Star Wars. I was going to check it out. You don't need to watch that. That was all anime studios. And the volume 2, the one that's coming out this summer, is animation studios from all around the world. Yes, there's at least one Japanese studio. There's a studio from over here in the UK. I don't know if they've announced who it is, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's what's their names who do Mark will probably be able to help here. All the like the Wallace and Gromit and stuff. I should know this. I've got a friend who works
Arden.
Yeah, Aardman. In fact, I could just ask my friend if that's what they've been working on. I should probably do that. He's a big Star Wars fan too. So yeah, it could be them. I think there's a French one. There's something from South Africa, I think. So like that, I think will be way more what you're looking for because it'll be very different things, different styles, different stories. I'm excited about volume 2 way more than I was for volume 1. Because it'll be something different.
Bring that over to live action. Like, let the Wachowskis do what they did with Speed Racer. You know what I mean? Like, they took the anime art style and brought it into like a live action. But why not make Star Wars stylized? You have Disney Plus. If you don't want to release these theatrically, like, let's. Yeah.
So yeah, if it is Aardman, then that's great. I'm definitely gonna hit up my friend Seb, see if we can get him on the show potentially if he had anything to do with it. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about having like some live action anthology types. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
I'm done wandering the desert. That was one of my main issues with season 1 of Mandalorian. Wandering the desert each week on a different desert,
slightly different color desert.
I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to move on. Let's get into weird stuff. It looks like we're getting into weird stuff with Mandalorian season 3 with more Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And
I do like that every time they go back to Navarro, it's built up more and more and more. I don't know how that works time wise, but like the shots that we've seen of Navarro now, it looks like a thriving city. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Greef Karga, hell of an administrator, it appears. If he's getting all of that done. I don't know. How are you feeling about Mandalorian season 3? Because I'm the same.
I think we haven't done Mandalorian on live action Star Wars. We did a sort of recap 2 episodes for season 1 and 2. If you want to go back to my YouTube channel, at Casino Skunk on YouTube, I was covering Mandalorian on my Patreon show, and I made those public, the first season public, I think the second season as well. I had a lot of great guests. James showed up on my Filoni season 1 or Filoni season
2, the Ahsoka episode, the first Ahsoka episode.
Yeah.
That was where this all started, and then we decided to do Invincipod after that.
Yeah, because I never wanted to do a Star Wars show. I never really did. I was like, oh, there's plenty out there, and
then I came along.
But I mean, that's the thing, is like it was literally like we're waiting for Invincible, and we're like, this is gonna be.
We should do something else. Let's do another show.
I'm like, fuck it, I'll do Star Wars.
Can you imagine if we had?
It was literally, yeah.
If we hadn't done that, like, it would be interesting to see if Invincipod would come back.
We just got a DM on our Invincipod Instagram.
Yeah.
And he was asking, he's like, oh man, I love Invincipod. You guys are so great. Do you guys do anything else? And I'm like, well, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, well, come watch this. Shout out to Paul Wallace, big Invincipod fan. If you're watching this, Paul, thanks for joining us over here as well.
Yeah.
This is what we look like. You've probably only heard us on
Invincipod. We have our
one video episode.
Last episode, we have a video episode. Yeah. Because we did that after we started this. We started this, and a couple of months had passed on Invincible, and we're like, maybe we should do an Invincible episode, and then now it's been like 2 years.
Yeah.
Or like a year and a half.
Yeah, coming up.
There's one video episode of that. Weird. But when Invincipod comes back, it will all be this format, because it's a really easy format to do.
And I think it just has a better, more sort of conversational flow as well. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, because when we started this, we only recorded them. We didn't do them live.
Yeah.
That's another thing I believe we started this year.
Probably with the Boba Fett episodes.
I want to say Boba Fett, because our last taped episode was with Pete and Alex talking about Tashi Station. That wasn't a live episode, and that was the week before Boba Fett.
It was.
So we've only been doing this live for about a year now.
Yeah, but
and I gotta tell you, it's made things a lot easier.
I don't think I'd want to go back. Well, I mean, occasionally, like, if the only time that I'd want to go back is if we've got like a real scheduling thing where we can't do it, but we could record, say it was a date link or something. But like, even then, I feel like we'd just be like, yeah, the live's gonna be up early.
We'll just do it live.
Yeah, it'll just be.
We figured out the opening and closing, when to hit the buttons and stuff, and we like it being up immediately is really makes things easy on me, because doing an upload of an hour-long episode usually takes around an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe even 3.
Yeah.
And then when we record ahead of time, I tend to want to add visual aids down here.
Yeah.
So remember when those used to pop up?
I mean, they're fun, but it's not necessary.
No. Now we have you guys popping up here. Scott D just showed up.
I like that. Like, and we still need a name for our regulars in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that doing it live has done is made my transitions have to come way more naturally. Sometimes they're not like the flowiest. There you go. This is one, for example. But we've done the other ones that we've done is we've done a lot of like the bonus episodes and the minis this year, which I've really enjoyed. So I've been able to talk about books. I've had a couple of guests on sometimes to talk about books, or I've done like board game reviews and things like that. So we had like I'm just looking back through this list of stuff. We've got Jabba's Palace. I did the review of. I played that game so much this year. Such a simple game. I recommend everyone, if you didn't get it for Christmas or like holidays, check it out. You can get it for under $20 anywhere you go.
I need to learn Sabacc. That's going to be my New Year's resolution is to learn Sabacc. I've had the deck for like 3 years.
Yeah, yes. The Han Solo card game deck. Or did you get the one from Galaxy's Edge that is
Galaxy's Edge?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. There was what was the other board game? There was the expansion for Outer Rim, which I played and talked about. That was really fun. Don't get it to the table as much. And then just for Christmas, I was gifted the Star Wars: The Clone Wars board game. Such an awkward title because so many things are called the Clone Wars. But it's, if anyone has ever played Pandemic, the co-op game, it's based on the rule set of Pandemic, but it's in Clone Wars. So instead of spreading diseases, you're spreading battle droids around the galaxy and things like that, and you've got to go and clear them out and then defeat a villain at the end. We played it one evening over the last few days. Really, really fun. Gonna play it again a couple more times probably in the next week or two, and then I'm gonna do a little bonus episode talking about that game because it's still relatively new, and I think might just be the season, but no one seems to be talking about that game that much. But it's worth checking out. It's really good. Yeah. Good co-op game.
I think I have a couple. I think I have 2 lightsabers that I haven't reviewed, so I could always do that. Fun
I haven't talked about any of phase 2 of the High Republic, and it's been interesting because I'm almost completely up to date. I've got the sort of the junior reader book that I'm gonna finish probably in the next couple of hours when I get to work. But it's this second phase again. It's done the Star Wars thing. It's done a prequel to what is already ostensibly a prequel. So it's going to be going way back in time. But I've enjoyed these books, but not nearly as much as I did that first chunk of them. So that's the only reason I haven't done reviews. Maybe I'll just do a wrap up of it at the end of the entire phase, which is only like 2 from each reading grade. Yeah. Good though. High Republic still awesome. And there was a couple of other books which were Brotherhood about Anakin and Obi-Wan and Cato Nemoidia, and Shadows of the Sith, which was Luke, Lando, Ochi of Bestoon, filling in some gaps there. Rey's parents. Loved both of those. Really, really great books.
Yeah. And you've been doing those live, right?
Yeah, I think I've done them mostly live.
You've done some tape maybe early on, but
maybe.
Yeah, if you go to our YouTube channel, if you're on our YouTube channel, they have made a tab for videos. There's always been a tab for videos, so you can see all the videos. But now they have one for live, which is where most of our stuff now hangs out. Hit the live tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and watch our first live episode.
Oh wow!
It's deer in the headlights. Not great.
No.
And I felt like I was just like, you know what, screw it, let's just do it live. Because I did something else live. I think I did a live thing for my Patreon or just over at Casino Skunk. But I was like, I think we can do this. I think I can get it to a point where we'll be comfortable enough. And I think our first live thing was like a trailer reaction or something. So it wasn't like it was just kind of a bonus episode. But we've definitely sort of settled into this.
Yeah,
100%.
And it's been, you can tell just like the camera and lighting, all of that sort of stuff is way more consistent, and it looks like half decent. I've still got the weird, like, shitty webcam that goes in and out of focus sometimes, but it's so much better. It's
you go back to those old episodes, and I have my old computer,
yeah,
and the lighting was crappy. My computer was there facing this way.
Mine was there facing that way, I think.
I think we're good now. And then I'm glad I've angled my
I think any tweaks that we make now are just improvements of what we've got, as opposed to changing things completely.
Just in case anyone's wondering, my bed is still there. It's just now I don't have to make it. It's out of frame.
Yeah.
And then I got this. Did I mention this?
Green Lantern. It's definitely, you've been on Twitter and Instagram, I think. But yes,
Stevie got me that. It's about I can't, like, it's huge.
It is big.
It's huge.
Yeah. All right, we're starting to run out of time, so let's just go over quickly. What else haven't we talked about that came out this year? Light and Magic, our summer vacation of Light and Magic. Wasn't entirely Star Wars, but what a great time that was.
Yeah.
Loved that show. Like, it all came out at once. A lot of people watched it all and then sort of forgot about it, maybe because Andor came out not long afterwards and was so good. Light and Magic was amazing. I loved that documentary series. That's my favorite Star Wars related documentary that has been out since Disney Plus. Like, I like the ones that they do at the end of each series and things like that. But yeah, so good.
Scott D says regular live viewers, livers.
Livers. Live action Star Wars livers. They live.
I'm thinking like a Mouseketeers type thing, like an Actioneers, like the Actioneers or something. Actioneers.
I mean, yeah, live action army feels a bit too like plagiarism.
I know.
Yeah.
Mark Vibber says I can review the lightsaber my sister grabbed for him. So Mark, I was on Mark's show, the Holdo Maneuver podcast.
Yep.
And we talked about Galaxy's Edge. I'm a huge fan. He had gone for the first time, and he wanted to get the Anakin sort of the Skywalker legacy saber, the one that ends up with Rey and the one that ends up with Luke. But it came in a giant wooden box with it was Obi-Wan and Anakin saber.
Oh wow.
Like in the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
But it was some ungodly amount because it's like this crazy box and stuff. And so like a week after Mark's trip to Galaxy's Edge, they then started selling that saber on its own. And so I told them, I said, I was like, if you Venmo my sister, she's there all the time. I feel like she'd do that for you. And she totally did.
See,
and I found this out at Christmas. She's like, I did save a box that's big enough to hold a lightsaber. I need to mail a lightsaber to Mark. And I'm like, oh, he did it. He actually reached out to you.
That's so great. Like, what a lovely, lovely family that we've got with this podcast.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't know how many of you, if any of you, are making the trip over to Celebration this year, but please let me know. I want to come and hang out with all of you guys if you are coming over to London.
Did we
so far I've still only got
over there? We
haven't. Yeah, literally, Johnny, you are UK based, right? Are you going to Celebration? If so, let's meet up. I've still only managed to get a Monday ticket, which are still available and still are on sale if anyone hasn't got a ticket yet. Don't fly over just for a Monday. That would be ridiculous. But okay. Literally, Johnny, you confuse us all the time.
I could have sworn we thought, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
maybe you spelled favorite with a U or something. And Dartharian says the timing you guys go live is usually either when I'm at work or enjoying a good sleep in. And thankfully, you caught you. Okay, so we go live when I just wake up and James is about to go to work.
An hour before I go to work. Yeah.
This is like the perfect time that works for us, and I'm sure it'll be when we do Invincipod as well.
I mean, yeah, unless anything changes with either of our lives drastically. Yeah. Galactic Star Cruiser, neither of us got to go on it, but Rick did, and came and filled us in like just after it opened. We were like pretty close to the mark with Galactic Star Cruiser, which was pretty cool considering neither of us have been there.
And he sent me the Halcyon Star
It's so
Cruiser
cool. Yeah.
lightsaber, which I did a review on.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, by the way, Mark, I'm not going to open up your lightsaber. I'm not gonna, you'll be able to. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I can review. I have that lightsaber as
Mark,
a Force Effects.
We'll have Mark back on for a data link where he or you guys can do a review of it together.
Yeah, let's do it, Mark. You open it up while I chat.
Yeah, he'll just pry you with questions about the lightsaber.
I think it's episode 3 version with the gold band.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I think though that is everything that we either covered or didn't cover this year. Any other Star Wars bits and bobs from this year that you can think of? Comics, I read most of the comics that came out. We don't really cover any of that stuff though. They were pretty good. They were a bit all over the place. Some were better than others. Some I skim read. Most I read. But yeah, all pretty good stuff. But next year, 2023, just before we're wrapping up here, we have got. I'm just going to run down this list, and this was off the top of my head, so I'm sure that I'm missing some things. We have got Bad Batch Season 2, Mando Season 3, Jedi Survivor, Young Jedi Adventures, Visions Volume 2, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, End of the High Republic Phase 2, probably the beginning of Phase 3, Star Wars Celebration London, and there's a Shatterpoint, Star Wars Shatterpoint's miniatures game. So not the sort of the small scale Star Wars Legion. That's really good. That's sort of like Warhammer, Star Wars Warhammer. This one is a little bit bigger miniatures, but still like you have to paint and do all of that stuff with them. Sort of like a skirmishy game. I think there's one, the Marvel Crisis Protocol or something. It's a game that will be an absolute money pit because you'll be buying expansions and buying new toys and stuff all the time. So right now I'm saying that I probably won't get it, but I might end up just buying like the starter box or something just because there'll be cool minis and stuff like that. Maybe we'll see. If we do, I will definitely talk about it on the channel. But yeah, that was just something that I remember was coming out next year.
Yeah. Scott D mentioned that there was Mando and Grogu at Galaxy's Edge.
Nice.
And they're amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
They're amazing.
Yeah. I've seen some of the videos and it does look great. Like Boba and Fennec Shand are there as well, I believe, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of just being loosey-goosey with the timeline. I think that's fine. That
is fine. And I want more of that. I want more characters walking around. I've not been, so I can't say. But like, I just want more.
We got to get you down here. We got to get you down here.
It's been talked about. It's being talked about. It's a potential for next year. At the very least, though, I think 2024. Let's see. Like, we'll wait until after April when they announce the next celebration. And then if they announce it and it's coming back to Southern California, then 100% I'm going to be there.
Or if it goes to Florida.
Like
I've never been at Walt Disney World.
I haven't since I was 3 years old. So, been a while. I think 4 years. I don't know. 1991 or 1990, I don't know. It was like the last time I was there. So I don't, I remember it from videotape, but I don't really have much in the way of real memory of it. I'm sure the people there have not changed age. But yeah, it'll happen at some point. We're definitely going to do live action Star Wars in person together from Galaxy.
You got to get in there so bad.
I can't wait. It'll happen. I need to save because I'm just going to buy everything.
Yeah. And if you want to hear me and Mark talk about it, and head over to the Holdo Maneuver podcast.
Yeah.
Which we were both guests on this year.
We have been. We've done that. We've both been guests on Star Wars Music Minute this year as well. Super fun.
Exactly,
yeah. And yeah, we've had a bunch of guests on this show. Like I haven't done my homework and done a whole list. I think we
should have done it.
Yeah, we thanked people at the end of each season when we've had them on for a season, but like all the in between episodes, you guys know who you are. We thank you. We love you all. We look forward to having you all on again at some point in 2023, I think.
Yeah. We have a whole section dedicated to that on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a guest, there's a playlist of just episodes with our guests. Looking forward to 2023. I think I'm most excited for Ahsoka.
Same.
I don't know what Skeleton Crew is.
My ranking of it would be Ahsoka because love Rebels and want more of that side of things. Skeleton Crew because I don't know what it is and what it's going to be. And then Mando, which seems weird because whenever I see a trailer of all the Mandalorian stuff, I'm super excited about all it. But we've seen Mando. We know what Mando is as a show.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, cool, that'll be really good. I'll really enjoy that.
I could use a little more. I can use a little more serialized storytelling. I think.
And maybe it'll start going that way this year. I'm going into it with high hopes, and I think just zero expectations for everything means that you won't be disappointed.
Right.
That's not to say that they're negative expectations. They're just blank expectations.
Yes, it's a clean slate.
It is a clean slate. Looking forward to it though. It'll be nice. It's weird that it's been so long since we had a full season of Mando.
Right. We had a mini season.
We did. And we had a spin-off. And that's what people need to remember Book of Boba Fett as a chapter in the whole Mandalorian story.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I am too. We're going to be back next week. And is it my pick or is it you?
Yeah, it's your pick. You picked the 501st documentary on Netflix.
The Netflix 501st documentary. Yes. What is it called? I've got the name of it here. Heroes of the Empire. It is on Netflix, hopefully around the world. It's definitely on the Netflix in the UK. I think it is over there as well.
Look it up.
So yeah, we'll be watching that, and then we will be back here next Wednesday to talk about it with you guys.
Right.
Our first episode of the new year.
Yeah. All this stuff. You guys see
all that stuff. Live Action SW, wherever you want to find us, we're there. Even on Twitter.
And this is always fun, is I have a new shortened version of the Data Link closing. Hopefully it works out good. There's a new one for our regular episodes, and that'll
teaser for next week.
I believe premiere next week. Sure. And it won't be as insane. Yeah. So thanks for everybody for showing up in 2022. We look forward to seeing you in 2023. Spread the word. Tell your friends at Live Action SW.
Get us to 1,000 in 2023.
God, I really want to hit that 1,000. I really
get to 1,000 in 2023, guys. Like if the sooner we can do it, the better.
That means we can monetize this, and it means we can
start selling you shit. Saying we can monetize it sounds gross, but like I know exactly.
But that's the thing is, if we get enough people in here, as soon as we hit 1,000, we can monetize it, which means
we can do bigger and better
we would
things.
Start getting cash from ads and stuff, which means nothing out of your pocket. You don't have to spend anything, but you'll get content like maybe Galactic Star Cruiser, maybe I don't know if
live and in person together episodes, things like that.
Gives that much money away, but
I don't think they do. But like you never know.
But
you never
helps.
Know. It all helps.
Yeah. So we'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there. We're almost to the halfway point. Almost.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So we need to get you to Florida. Need to get me to Florida. We'll get everyone to Florida. Let's all go to Florida. First, tell your friends.
Said nobody ever.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us all year, guys. We love you all. Don't give in to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Punch it.